I don't fucking know how to play this. Hi, my name is Rusty Ralston. I am a queer Appalachian, and I am a Saturday Night Live fan. I'm ashamed to admit that fact again after what they pulled this past weekend. I hate the fact this is my first video of the year, and I hate the fact that it took until February to get my first video of the year. But here we are, I've got some opinions, and y'all are going to hear about them, so you better get your best hazmat suit and get into your bomb shelter, because I might go nuclear here. So I'm a fan of Saturday Night Live, which is no stranger to questionable decisions, like allowing Gerald Ford, Steve Forbes, Elon Musk, Donald Trump twice, allowing them onto the show, although apparently those last two were on the behest of the network. How they handled Sinead O'Connor ripping up an image of the Pope, which was badly, the entirety of season 20, etc., etc. They've also been at the brunt of complaints that they haven't been funny since Anne Rinsleigh was on the cast, and that they've been accused of not looking towards comedians and performers who are of racial and or sexual minorities, and have been accused of having writing rooms that are racist, sexist, homophobic, and all around toxic and juvenile, just as Jenny Garofalo and Chris Elliott, who were both coincidentally or not coincidentally on the cast of season 20. It's had to face a lot of scrutiny from his past, and a lot of it came from fans of the show. One of the phrases I learned from one of my writer friends is, your greatest critic is your greatest fan. And that's kind of why I'm doing this video, because a lot of SNL's recent decisions have made me scratch my head as of late. So this started last week, January 27th, 2024, at the end of the Dakota Johnson episode, when Dave Chappelle was seen during the Goodnight segment, when the cast and crew get together and hug and celebrate getting through another show. And it got a lot of people's head scratching because he didn't appear at all in the episode before. He was a complete non-factor. He might as well have just wandered in from off the street. Plus, he's known for using lazy, transphobic jokes and using cancel culture as a way to boost ticket sales, you know, crying wolf and all that. Jessie Gender has a good video about this, links in the description. She's awesome. He's not been in the best light lately, so it makes no sense for this supposedly progressive show to give him any sort of goodwill. It was also kind of notable for Bowen Yang just sitting in the corner, looking all upset, being as far away from him as possible, which, you know, relatable. Although he wasn't alone for long, Marcelo Hernandez, Sarah Sherman, and Molly Carney, the first non-binary cast member in SNL history, came to join him, partially to comfort him and partially to say, hey, we're not on Chappelle's side. But that was the Goodnights on one episode, and that could easily be brushed off, especially since they had a lot of criticism for it. They probably won't stoop this low, right? No, they stooped. The following episode, February 3rd, 2024, in case you're keeping up, hosted by Ayu Edebri, they had Nikki Haley in the cold open. Nikki effing Haley. The woman who claimed that trans athletes and trans people in general are causing women's suicide rates to go up, and is challenging Donald Trump for the Republican presidential nomination. And it should be noted that the Republicans these days aren't like Steve Forbes, who I would classify as libertarian. No, these are the Republicans who want to be a bastardized mix of Singapore's People's Action Party and the goddamn Axis powers. Why? They only seem to invite her because she's not Trump, and a lot of neoliberals were calling for a strong Republican Party, whatever the fuck that means. It's especially head-scratching because they were riffing on an incident during a CNN town hall where she couldn't answer that the Civil War was caused by slavery or things related to slavery. I almost wanted to say that slavery and slavery accessories started the Civil War, which is true. Are you kidding me, SNL? If you're wanting to hire a politician to make fun of Nikki Haley, at least go with someone progressive, like AOC. I mean, at least she's not a transphobic fascist wannabe, at least by default, as far as I know. And to make matters worse, the next host on February 24th is Shane Gillis. best known for being fired by Saturday Night Live in 2019 because he refused to apologize for jokes made on his podcast that were racist towards Asians and had some homophobic language thrown in there as well. In 2019, when he was due to be in the same cast member class as Bowen Yang. And even then, according to Shane, his firing was not Lauren's doing, it was the network's doing. Jesus Christ, I would not be surprised if Bowen decides to leave after this season, and to be honest, I wouldn't blame him at all. Andrew Dick of That Week at SNL put it best when he said SNL is in the unique position of not only pissing off its actual fan community with the choices being made, but also its cast and crew. Truly a show for no one now, not even the people actively producing it. Later putting it more succinctly, SNL is undeniably having an identity crisis right now. Almost more than ever, this feels like a show for no one. It's flailing around both extremes, uncertain of what its purpose is. A cast and writing staff understandably confused on how to find a groove with what it's given week by week. Andrew hit the nail straight on the head. We're seeing a show that doesn't really know what it wants to be, and it's starting to feel like season 19, when it was going through a similar crisis to that, and thanks to, shout out to the Soaps and Sci-Fi guy for making that observation as well. I just hope we don't get another season 20, which, while not as bad as its reputation says it is, it still had got one of the lowest points and the most awful sketches in SNL history. It is truly a low. And I hope we do not get a low, especially for SNL's 50th anniversary. You know, I'm going to bring up another social media post from TV's Frank Conniff. Nikki Haley did SNL tonight? Cool. Carol Burnett has never been on, but having one of the greatest sketch performers ever on a sketch show doesn't nearly make as much sense as inviting a humorless GOP poll to display her comedy chops. Kudos, Lauren. I don't know how much Lauren has control over SNL these days. I don't work on the show, and while I hope to work on the show, first and foremost, I'm a writer, and SNL tends to avoid having writers that actually start out as writers. But it's feeling very clear that Lauren is obviously holding the show back in various ways. This may be jealousy, but I'm going to give Lauren some unsolicited advice on how to improve the show. Leave! Seriously, he should have been gone by the 40th anniversary, but it just seems to be stubbornly holding on to the show for dear life. I know the last time this happened, we got Jane the Manian, who is great on Broadway, but she just never fit on SNL. But the time has passed, and he needs to just move on to an island in Florida, or Virgin Islands, or hell, maybe Staten Island. Maybe he can move in with Colin Jost and pretend he's Grandpa Jost. Anyway, that's my scripted rant. I want SNL to improve because I want SNL to be good because I am a genuine, honest-to-God fan of the show. And I know that it's not going to be 100% good. It's never, ever been 100% good. Drew Gooden proved that not everything on SNL worked because of how the show works and our brains' built-in selection bias. Our little built-in nostalgia goggles, which are also fed via edited down episodes and best of collections, which cut out the weak parts, etc., etc. Yeah, check out his video for more information. Anyway, I just want SNL to be good. I don't want them to be a place for transphobic assholes because we're dealing with enough shit as it is. All I ask is that SNL not be a place for transphobic shitholes. Alright? Anyway, I'm Rusty Ralston, and I'm done. Hey y'all, I don't have a Patreon bonus video because I've been busy all of January because my head's been mad at me or sad at my head's not working, my brain's not working, and I'm also doing driving classes, which those are exhausting, and yeah, I've just been busy. So anyway, share this video around with other people. I don't know if any functions YouTube allows, but I'm sure you already did it if you wanted to. Anyway, yeah, support me on Patreon. $1 a month, you get extra videos. Again, not this month, sorry. Next month I'll make up for it. Anyway, yeah.